I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. And oh, it's EGX and MCM is finished. Crap. What's going on, everyone? Stealth Wolf here. Yes, I completely missed the before me doing EGX video. Blame my laptop. I hadn't turned it on in quite a while, and it just didn't want to load things, and also was trying to update Streamlabs and everything. Anyway, enough of that, because it's after EGX now, so I've technically got to review it. Let me just say stuff that I was excited for. I was excited to see cosplayers at EGX. But obviously I was worried, as I mentioned in previous video, about kind of MCM and EGX doing a thing. And now that it's actually gone through and finished and everything, I've got more thoughts on that. So, first of all, it was busy as hell. Every single day. The Friday, the Saturday, obviously, and the Sunday, which I didn't think the Sunday was going to be as busy as what it was. But yes, you could barely sit down when it came to getting lunch food. Right? Like around sort of like 12 and 1. Right? It was ridiculous. But let's go through a couple more things before we even get into sort of anything like that. So, there were 3 days. It was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is more akin to MCM days rather than EGX days. EGX would have done Thursday, which is a bit sad, but whatever, we'll get on to that. The days... Ah, crap, I don't know where I put my... Where did I put my... Oh, it's... Ignore the fireworks. It's near the 5th of November. People are setting off fireworks everywhere. So apologies if you can hear that. So, what was it? The Friday was 10 AM for early entry until 6 PM, and then you could stay for after hours, EGX after hours as they called it, until 9 PM on the Friday. On Saturday and Sunday they didn't do an after hours, but on Saturday the show finished at 7 and opened at 9. And then on Sunday the show opened at 10 and closed at 5, I think. Yeah. So obviously so many weird like timings and everything, which is very confusing. Very confusing. But yeah, there was no EGX Gauntlet, unfortunately. Sort of the little tournament thing I did last year, or that you could do last year, where you'd play like 3 games, you get your best score, and you'd get like put on like a leaderboard thing. So unfortunately, that wasn't there. But EGX Arena was there. There was obviously so much stalls and merch and stuff to buy. It was ridiculous. Obviously all the like voice actors as well, and stuff. And also there were new current season gladiators there. If you know the show Gladiators. The new reboot of it, I guess. They were there and answering some like Q&A stuff. You do like autographs and stuff like that, which is a bit weird, but hey, it's Gladiators. There was obviously the cosplay masquerades, which was quite fun, as well as a lot of other kind of like usual kind of stuff. Sorry, you can hear me kind of trailing off now because I'm... As a whole, as a whole, I had fun. I had a fun time. I spent, again, way too much money because I keep doing that. For things I've got, I got quite a few other things. I had a great time. There were times where I was a bit overwhelmed, so I'd take like a bit of a break, and just like go to like a quiet spot and just be like, right, I'm just gonna, or like sit down somewhere, or like a proper chair, not on the floor, and take like a minute as well. Yeah, I had a good time, but I do have some negative criticisms, and I think it might all be MCM's fault. But we'll get into that. There's one quick thing, right? My God. So obviously I got a hotel. Get a hotel, right? My hotel Wi-Fi just wasn't letting me connect to the hotel Wi-Fi. I've explained this problem just so many times to everyone I've been around. I've talked to friends, I've said it on Twitter, I've said it on everywhere, and I'm like, for God's sake, stop. But yeah, I had Wi-Fi situations in the hotel, so that means I only had Wi-Fi at the con, but obviously that's not EGX's fault, that's the hotel fault. It's kind of more outside of the con did I have kind of bad experiences, kind of more so than inside the con. So obviously not having Wi-Fi at the hotel, and just sort of like a bunch of other things, and then trying to get like food as well. I've always complained about food stalls inside XL closing at 6, which is ridiculous. But because it was an EGX, I don't know what actual time they were closed. There was like Costa's that was staying open until like 7:30, 8:30 or something. But there were also like some other places that were still serving like sort of their refrigerated drinks and stuff, but not like actual like food. So you'd go there and you could pick up like, you know, like a bottle of Coke or a Monster or whatever. Now, I did write down notes for day one, and that was it. Because what I was doing was going around the con and just looking at all the merch stuff, because there wasn't that many panels that I kind of found interesting or that I really wanted to go see. And I don't know, it's that was kind of like, because a lot of people were queuing to see, sort of like get autographs and sort of talk to and photo ops and stuff like that from the voice actors, which all that stuff was fucking expensive anyway. It's like wow, you're in Has-Been Hotel, you're in the other things for an autograph. Reservations aside for that, yeah, but that was a lot of like kind of so much stuff. I was like, they took over both the north and the south side of XL, which MCM has done previously, but then adding the EGX stuff into it. There wasn't much EGX stuff. There wasn't much gaming stuff, and that's where that's where my problems kind of come from, and everything. Where's everything broken? But yeah. So again with MCM regularly, a lot of cosplayers and everything will be outside because that's just what it was. And apparently there was something where you couldn't like take photos or have like something like that outside, and it was I only saw that afterwards because I didn't go outside. Yeah, that was a bit kind of crazy. Yeah, like, I'm trying to like, yeah, it just wasn't much EGX stuff. Now, my overall review of EGX X MCM, like this one, it was very busy, but it wasn't too busy to the fact that you couldn't move around. If you were trying to go sort of in where all the stalls were and everything, yeah, of course. But if you were just trying to like get from one end to the other, you could do that without too much problem. So it wasn't that busy. If you were going to like one of the panels or the EGX arena or any of like the sort of stages, there was always tons of space. There was always tons of places to sit down. So that wasn't a problem either. And that's a good thing. Yeah, there was always place to stand. There was tons of food stalls, which was always good. You like a bit of variety. Unfortunately, obviously, when it got to around kind of the usual kind of lunchtime, around 1 o'clock, obviously you got tons of queues for everything. So, not great then, but you know, in the morning it was fine. After that kind of time, sort of 3, 4 is fine as well. And the after hour, what was the after hours? The after hours there was I think, was it karaoke? They did like karaoke or something on the fringe stage, which the fringe stage was weird as well. But that, yeah, so the kind of the after hours did kind of turn into, hey, here's the PC LAN setup with, you know, that kind of thing that they do every year. Then there's obviously the retro sort of gaming stuff, which they say retro and it's got Xbox 360 and Wii there, and I'm like, that's not retro. And then they go, yeah, it's like 20 years old almost now. Or and all that kind of stuff that they usually have. And then they have the arcade section, which I swear they've bumped up their arcade section because there was a monkey ball arcade machine where it had like a joystick that was in the shape of a banana. It was the hardest thing to fucking control ever, I swear to God. It should not have been. It should not have been. But there was also Outrun, there was Virtua Racer, and there was all sort of like other classic ones. There was a Point Blank machine, and like all the other kind of things, and all obviously all like the usual stuff that's there. You know, you got your Pac-Man, you got your Ghouls and Ghosts, and all that kind of stuff. And obviously the popular ones is the, you know, light gun stuff, and you know, the actual driving cars kind of stuff. So that was all interesting. And then they had, there was also pinball machines. I never got round to playing any of the pinball machines, mainly because I kept forgetting. I would see them near the end, like the end of the day, and I'd be like, oh, pinball. Oh, yeah. But I assume there was always like a big queue for sort of pinball machines anyway. There was also a Roller Coaster Tycoon pinball machine, which I was looking at and I was like, none of that seems like Roller Coaster Tycoon inspired, apart from like the rails are like, oh look, they're painted yellow, so they're like the roller coaster tracks. There was also like a painting miniatures section. There was obviously like Star Wars fighting thing. There was also like a big bit of Beyblade as well, like Beyblade X. It's like a new Beyblade thing. Some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff was there. There was Lego stuff there, so it was like sort of Lego games, Lego Fortnite, Lego Minecraft, which I don't get, but whatever. and all the other all the other stuff, you know. Just there was also Sylvanian Families up there, and Littlest Pet Shop that I remember, which was really weird. And yes, for anyone wondering, I managed to get I think three more sets of cursed dice, because that's my thing. If I see dice that I don't have, that's not a usual looking dice set, I buy it, even if it's expensive, because I'm apparently a collector of cursed dice. But yeah, there's what else was there? There was I'm trying to sort of think, because a lot of it was stalls. A lot of it was, hey, here's the artist alley. Hey, here's, you know, the people selling the knockoff stuff and the sort of stolen artwork stuff and all that kind of mystery bags and everything like that. And then you got the ones selling the movie stuff, movie props, and the rave masks and backpacks, and you know, and obviously tons and tons of dice. All the weeb shit, lots of prints and lots of stickers. Yeah, and then there's obviously like the Pokemon stuff. There's a lot of the anime stuff, wallets. There was a cool thing where someone had done like video game and anime like weapons, but it's a bottle opener, which is pretty cool. But again, enough promotion about that. Yeah. So in all, I had a good time. I had a fun time. I bought things. I was, you know, I had a good time. Having fun. I wish I could have gone there with other people, as always, but you know, it is what it is. But now, let's get on to the future. I've never done this kind of thing, because I've always gone, yeah, I'll be there next year. I'll be at MegaCons and everything like that. But this year, the MCM X EGX, it was only combined for a couple of reasons, maybe a mix and match. But, so, the company, I guess, people that run MCM and EGX, at least for the UK, are under the sort of company Reed Pop, right? I think they might do a couple of other events, but I'm not sure. But they basically they run those two events. Now, around this time, around October or September, they usually have an MCM and an EGX. It might be like 1 or 2 weeks apart, sort of before or after each other. So it makes sense to put them together, because a lot of the stands that go to EGX go to MCM. Like there's always the shirt that there's always the stand that sells shirts and G Fuel and Funko Pops, and they're usually at sort of every single UK con. And I've seen other sort of things that were like MegaCons and MCMs that were at EGX as well, so it makes sense, because then you can put like a lot of things together. A lot of people, you know, sort of like pay more. What I mean pay more as in like they'll buy more stuff, and then, you know, artists and vendors will get, you know, they'll make more, and that's a good thing. You know, we want those people to make more. We don't care about people running MCM and EGX to make more money. But why? Why was it MCM and EGX, and why was it also brought down to MCM's sort of opening times and opening days and everything? I think that this might be a permanent thing. MCM x EGX might be a permanent thing, and I don't like it, but it kind of seems what's actually going to happen. Because the reason why I haven't mentioned a lot about EGX is because there wasn't much EGX stuff there. There wasn't much video game stuff there. There was obviously sort of like the res stuff, sort of the indie stuff. You got the Left Field collection, you had the EGX Arena, and you had all the sort of retro gaming stuff in the arcade. But that was it. There wasn't, like, you know, I mean, I'm just trying to mention, was it 2021 or was it 2019? It might have been 2021, where they had a full, like, Fall Guys, huge sort of, like, bouncy castle type thing, Virgin Media, and sort of everything like that, and, like, PS5, you could win, like, PS5, and stuff like that. And then, obviously, recently they've had the Call of Duty sections for Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, and the reason they've had those is because it was a free beta. It was the free beta time, so it was like, well, you could either be at this event and play it, or you could be at home and play it. You know, it's like kind of, you know, and previously there'd be like EGX 2019, just for an example. There was, you know, tons of games. There was, you know, PlayStation booth, Microsoft, Xbox booth. There was Nintendo stuff. You know, and there was just sort of like big stands for games. There were big stands for games last year for EGX as well. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Sega had quite a few things. But I think either they went to do EGX and they couldn't get enough stuff to warrant filling up an entire half of Excel and everything like that, and it was just like, well, we've only got sort of the indie games and stuff, we don't have much of those, so what? Yeah, so then they were just like, well, we'll just mix it with MCM, so then we still get, yeah, so there's still EGX to go ahead. Which is the concerning one, which is the one that I think is probably more likely to have happened. It sucks, but if this is the thing going forward, I'm worried. Because then that kind of means that gaming events in general, I mean, E3 doesn't even exist anymore. Every major company does, you know, you got PlayStation's State of Play, you got Nintendo Directs, you got whatever Microsoft does, you know. You don't really have or need sort of the convention spaces to promote games or anything. You do it for indie games because a lot of them are like Steam wishlist, and you get to play the game before even it's, you know, before it's even an alpha or a beta or something, you know. And that's disappointing to me, because I love EGX. I have gone to EGX every year apart from 2020 since 2019. I've done 2019, 21, 22, 23, and 24. I even did 2014, 2013? I can't remember now. I think it was 2013. I did that ages ago as well, and to see the kind of like decline of the demand, really, of gaming conventions, because apart from EGX, the only other gaming convention you properly have is the Anime Gaming Con, which we don't talk about because that whole convention is just problematic. If you don't know why, you should really Google it. It will not be hard to find reasons why. But yeah, and then combining it with MCM, it's good for vendors It's good for the exhibitors. It's good for the artists and everything. They don't have to buy two. They don't have to decide whether to go to MCM or EGX. If they're in that kind of sort of thing, they don't have to worry about that. They could just go to one. Obviously, then the people who put the events on don't have to worry about like getting enough stuff for EGX, and obviously putting them on sort of 2 weeks or 1 week after each other, kind of thing. They don't have to worry about that, and that's all good. And in my defense as well, I get to see some cosplayers because they go to MCM. I don't go to MCM. I went to MCM May, I think it was 2023. I went there. It was my first MCM, and I didn't like it. I still think it was way busier and sort of a lot of problems with MCM then, and I think they have bucked up their ideas. They've gotten a lot better. Do I think they oversold tickets at this one? No. But I think if everyone was inside rather than sort of, there being a ton of people outside as well for obviously cosplays and that kind of stuff and meetups, I think maybe, yeah, but I don't think they oversold tickets. They might have overestimated because of it's EGX and MCM together, but I realistically no. But then there's the other thing where they thought about doing MCM x EGX, and then they went, well, we don't need much EGX stuff. So then they just went, okay, well, we just need the EGX arena for the fighting game stuff, or usually fighting game stuff, the arcade and sort of retro game stuff, the PC LAN section, and some other like small gaming stuff, and then bring along sort of people who do EGX to do like their panels and live stage shows and sort of stuff like that. But either way, it's kind of depressing for EGX fans. For MCM, if you're an MCM fan and you weren't sure about EGX, and then EGX coming in this, you'd be like, oh, that's kind of pointless. It's kind of not great. So while I did love, I had fun there, and because I bought a lot of like merch stuff, I think pretty much next EGX or MCM x EGX, I probably will be going in cosplay because I don't need to buy things because I bought I was literally going around. I go, no, I've got that, I've got that, I've got that, I've got that. That's interesting, but no, I was doing that, so I probably should go and cosplay. But yeah, so that's kind of a positive, but that does mean I still need to bring my suitcase along despite everything. Yeah, but no, despite me having a good time, despite me, sort of enjoying it and sort of going around, enjoying the entire event, I am worried that if this is going to be a permanent thing, and it's looking more than likely. So beforehand, I disliked MCM x EGX as an idea, putting the two together, because I went to MCM once and it was terribly put together, and I'm like, how can they put EGX together properly but MCM together terribly? So if you put the two together, that's not gonna. And then obviously they were reducing it just down to MCM, and I was like worried that like, great, so it's only 3 days, that's not going to be as good and kind of thing. But I still had fun. I am just worried about them putting the two together. Now, I do have one way that they can make this better or more appealing for EGX people. First of all, obviously try and get some, Try and get some big stands. Like, even if it's like, even if it is like the Call of Duty open beta stuff, it's like, hey, here you go. But no, just like get some proper gaming stuff. Get some, you know, get PlayStation, get Xbox, get Nintendo there. Even if they're small, even if they're smaller booths than what they would be, get them. Please, for the love of God. But there's also that. But then also, I think the after hours, they could have done that every day, apart from Sunday, obviously. So they could have done that for Friday, Saturday, and it would also been, yeah, like, because the after hours is the thing that kind of like is the chill moment of EGX. You have all the sort of the busy stuff, all the panels and everything, and then when it gets to 6 o'clock, and like, you know, sort of regular people leave, and it's just the after hours kind of thing, then it's a bit more chill. It's a bit more kind of like, you know, you do sit and play that kind of retro game because you don't have to worry about, oh, when's the panel? Am I going to be able to get in, like, sort of in the front seat? Do I need to go over to, like, no, just here. So do more after hours, or make the after hours longer, I guess. Yeah, and stop selling way more tickets than what it is, you know. So unfortunately, while I will still be going next year, definitely 100%. I'm worried that it will still be MCM x EGX, and that will be a permanent thing. That's just sort of like the main thing that I'm worried about. It sucks as someone who loves EGX, seeing this kind of thing. You know. But what can you do? If it makes sense to them to do MCM x EGX more than it is to do the show separately, I just want to see more EGX stuff. You can do it. I just want to see more EGX stuff. Even if you did like, hey, Thursday is an EGX thing. You know, you come in, it's all gaming stuff. It's all, you know. Actually, they probably wouldn't. No, you could probably do like all panels and shows and everything, and it all be like more gaming kind of related. And then the Friday, Saturday, Sunday is more kind of like everything else. I don't know. I'm not someone who, you know, works behind the scenes on this kind of stuff. But yeah, again. So overall, I had a good time. I would like to see more EGX stuff if they're going to do MCM x EGX permanently. If not, I'm worried that EGX might go away. And after so many years of it being like decade plus of the event, then again, look at E3. E3 was the biggest gaming thing every year, and now that's not a thing anymore. But that's all I can say. I'm sorry I didn't get the things I'm excited for video beforehand. Blame my laptop. I was literally doing it, or trying to do it like 2 days beforehand. Laptop just wasn't giving me the time of day. But yeah, I will be doing my end of year video hopefully before the end of the year, hopefully before we go into 2025. And I will be updating more about that situation, because my situation is still not great. But you will get that video, and hopefully other things soon. But anyway, thank you everyone for watching. EGX MCM was fun. Let's see what happens next year. If you want to see me at other cons, I will be at MegaCon London next year, Birmingham, Manchester. Try and do my best to get to those 3. Obviously go to EGX. I'm not going to be at Birmingham MCM at the end of November. For kind of obvious reasons. But again, thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you at the end of 2024. Peace out.